all, everybody look at me. Everybody has trauma. Everybody goes through trauma. Turn to somebody and say, everybody goes through trauma. Everybody does. The issue is not whether you've had trauma. The issue is it affecting your life today in a negative way where you still feel the impact of it? So one of the reasons why turning to somebody and saying everybody has trauma is important is because one of the most significant behaviors, the people who are still carrying trauma, is that they begin to isolate themselves. This is a larger issue this is why I appreciate you so much what you did with your congregation, is that most congregations don't give room for negative emotions. We don't allow people to express negative emotions. And so therefore it's got to be happy, happy, joy, joy all the time, where everybody's dying on the inside. A huge piece of recovering from trauma has to do with identity, has to do with knowing who you are and that your trauma, no matter when it happened to you, doesn't define you.
So, Mike, with that, can you talk a little bit, because this is something I learned from Jill, and I've been trying to apply it, praying that God would redeem a memory, heal a memory. Like, that's one thing that it's really helpful to me when I think about someone who's experiencing that. Can you talk a little bit more about that, like what that means?
Well, there's two approaches to it.
Yeah.
There's one approach that actually try to bring people back to the memory and have Jesus come and show that he's there and see his perspective of it. And then my approach is a little bit different in that we pray for the healing of the memory so that David Seamans, who was a United Methodist theologian, has a book that's like 30 years old called Healing of the Memories. But literally just to pray for their memories to be healed, that they don't necessarily have to go back and experience it again. One of the things that people that are dealing with this kind of trauma, they have difficulty praying because they're disappointed with God, they may be angry at God, there may be lots of things, or they're covered with guilt and shame. And Bill Johnson from Bethel talks about that there are seasons in your life that you just don't know how to pray. And so what he does is he uses the Psalms. We've just talked about the Psalms. And that you begin to pray through the Psalms until you find your voice.